guys, it's Misty Eyez, and I'm here with Queens of the Week. Alright guys, we are here with Veronica Pop's topic, and she wants to get a little sci-fi on our asses. She wants to know if we've ever experienced, or first of all, if we believe in aliens or ghosts or the supernatural, and if we've experienced either. Yes. First of all, I absolutely 100% believe in the supernatural. I definitely believe in ghosts, and I do believe in aliens. Let's say, for example, God creates the solar system, not just ours, but all the other solar systems that are beyond our solar system, the complete and total universe, or all the universes, or there's more than one universe and there's more than one solar system. I know that. And if you're going to create all these planets, why would you only pick one out of the millions of stars and moons and earths and planets to have life form? I think that's a silly idea. I think that's a very narrow-minded idea. I think that's a simpleton idea. I definitely believe in extraterrestrial life forms. Yes. As far as the supernatural or ghosts, I definitely believe in that too. I've experienced too much with psychic. Okay, for example, I've talked about him many times. I had a massage therapist starting in the year 2005, and the first time I went to him, he knew things about me that no one in the state of Florida knew. For example, I've been molested and things like that. Like, I've talked openly about them in the last 10 years, but at this time, at the end of my massage, he started talking to me, and it freaked me out so bad. I didn't go to him for a couple months. And then I became a regular. I would go to him every month. And my thing with psychics or mediums or supernatural or insensitives, I don't guide them. Like, for example, I would never tell him anything. But during my massage, he would tell me, like at the end of the massage, he'd be like, you know, I had really weird visions while touching you today. I'm like, okay. And, like, he knew when I was having relationship issues. He knew about my childhood trauma. He knew weird things. And they were dead on. I went to a psychic in Glastonbury, England, while I was there. I talk about it a little bit on my European or United Kingdom tour video. And I've been stopped by psychics in the street. That's usually my psychic experience. Being stopped by psychics in the streets. Oh my God, I have to talk to you. And I don't pay them. They just have a very, very important message that I have to hear. And they just share it with me. And it's usually, holy fuck, wow, dead on. I've never been to a psychic where I had to pay for a psychic. Just walked in and been like, oh, read my cards. But when I was in my United Kingdom tour, I was with Michael, who was also the massage therapist from 2005. We became super good friends. So he's psychic, he's a medium, he's a sensitive. His best friend Robert is also a sensitive. And I'm touring the United Kingdom with two mediums and going to Stonehenge was a unique experience. I did not personally experience anything there, but listening to them talk about what they saw and what they witnessed and what they experienced was very intense. Then we went to the Glastonbury tour, and that was a spiritual experience. I definitely felt the spiritual St. Michael's thing. And in Glastonbury, I did pay for the psychic, well, Michael paid for it, but paid for a psychic reading. And that was the first time I ever went to one where I was like, here, do it for me. And it was amazing. She really, really knew what she was talking about. And so much so that I, for a second, thought Michael told her all about me before I went in there. But it's funny because why would he? I was not going to get a reading. I was like, I'm not getting a reading, peace. So he wouldn't have been like, oh, the one that's going to come in after me with the long hair, blah, blah, blah. That I really thought he did that. But looking back, I wasn't planning on getting a reading. I was like, I'm not doing this. You guys do it. But after their readings were so good, I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to go. So of course he didn't warn her about me. She was actually almost out the door. Her coat, her scarf, her gloves, everything were on, and she was walking out the door. And I stopped her and I was like, do you have time for one more? She's like, of course. And I went upstairs and did the reading. And it's kind of funny because I really did go in there as a skeptic. Meaning I was not going to guide her. I've heard too many stories where like telephone psychics, which I don't believe are genuinely psychics. I know too many people that have, I was a phone 6 operator and some of my friends were psychics on the phone. And they were not psychics in real life. They were just reading a script. And if somebody says something, they go a different direction and, press 1, 2, 3, 4. And like, oh, she's a female, press 1. She's this. And it would kind of just a formula. I don't believe in that. But true psychics, where I sat there and I'm like, I'm not telling you anything. If she were, she didn't. But if she were to be like, all right, I think you like blue colors. And I'm like, yes, cobalt blue is my favorite color. No. If she said, is your favorite color blue? I'd been like, uh-huh. And it was funny because after a couple of things, she's like, I know you're coming to me as a skeptic, but you are sensitive yourself. And I was like, okay. And then shit got deep. She basically reconfirmed all the shit that happened in my life for the last couple months. The things I went through with my family in Alaska and just emotional personal growth. It was basically a recap of you are in the right place you're supposed to be right now. And then two dead relatives came forward. Things that I was very shocked about. One was my biological father, which I did not expect at all. And she's like, your father's coming forward. And I'm like, really? She's like, do you have a deceased father? He's coming to you as a father figure. I'm like, my biological father's dead. She's like, yeah. And he's very, very regretful. He took his life in a very selfish way. And he realizes now that affected his entire family. And she was talking about him. Well, yeah, my dad killed himself. And how the fuck did she know that? And other things I'm not comfortable talking about right now. But yes, I definitely believe in psychics. I definitely believe in spirits. Ghosts. So, meanwhile, I'm in the United Kingdom with 2 psychic mediums that are in tune with their powers. I might be sensitive, but I definitely am not in tune with my powers. I definitely know things that sometimes I should not know. And I definitely feel things. And I remember when I was younger, I would wake up and I'd be like, oh my God, I had a dream that I need to rearrange my room like this. And whatever problem I was dealing with, like if I had to, whatever, I'm like, oh my God, my room's perfect for it. My dream was correct. So I would like have like, not foreshadow, I don't know, telling the future dreams when I was little. All right, so I'm touring the United Kingdom with 2 psychic mediums, and we go to Edinburgh, Scotland, and we do the haunted tour. This was my idea. I really wanted to do it. So, and the whole trip, I barely slept. That is true. There was not a lot of sleeping because we go to bed and then wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to another city and get on a train, and there was just not a lot of sleep, and I have trouble falling asleep anyway. So we're in Edinburgh, and I'm like, let's do the haunted. Okay, so I had a trick. If you watch my London video, he's the Magnum. So the Magnum guy left, and he was like, so what are you guys doing today? I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know if our tour guide's coming through or not. He goes, you definitely need to do the haunted tours of Edinburgh. They're really good. So then I'm like, yes, that sounds amazing. Let's do it. So I'm telling my friends, please, can we do the haunted tours? And we did. So, yeah, they were really good. I did not feel or anything in the tour. Like there were stories about, people having supernatural encounters in the tour. But it's funny because when the tour was at an end, they had us come to this room and we all got a glass of wine and we like got to share stories and talk and whatever. And Robert was sitting right next to him. He's like, oh my God, there's somebody right next to you. We said behind you. So I thought I was sitting on this person and I laughed it off. I'm like, yeah, I like to ride. He goes, no, he's beside you, but really like behind you. And when you lean, because I have back problems, so a lot of times I'll lean forward, like in the movies sometimes, or like when I'm sitting there for a long time, I'll lean forward and whatever. So I was leaning forward on the table, and then I leaned back. And he goes, oh my God, there was somebody right behind you, but when you leaned back, he disappeared. Well, bitch, apparently he came inside me. He didn't come inside me. That's not what I meant. Apparently, when I leaned back, he jumped into me. And I felt completely fine at that moment. I didn't even think about it. Robert and Michael didn't. All Robert said was he saw there was somebody behind me and disappeared when I leaned back. He was like, whoa, that was really weird. There was somebody sitting right next to you for a while. And when you leaned back, he disappeared. Apparently, he became a part of me for a moment. When we left, we were talking and whatever, everything was fine. But then when we were leaving the building is when shit started to hit the fan in my life. I got really sick really, really fast. And we were like on the street talking about where we should go. And all of a sudden, it was like I couldn't walk. I was very, very, very burdened. Like, I couldn't keep up with them. They all walked forward to the street light or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I just feel like I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke. And I just started to get really sick. I was dizzy and, oh my God, something's wrong with me. And they're talking about where we should eat. And I'm thinking, I just got to go back to the hotel. But then we're waiting for a cab and I'm like, holy fuck, I got to go to the bathroom right now. So I ran into like a Ritz-Carlton or something. I don't remember what the hotel was, but it was not a hotel we were staying in. And I'm like, excuse me, miss, where's your bathroom? And she's like, upstairs. I ran upstairs and I saw the first bathroom I saw. I was like, I don't care if it's boys or girls or whatever, I'm going to use it. It thankfully was a handicap bathroom or a unisex family bathroom. I ran in and unfortunately, most embarrassing moment, story, here we come. I didn't make it to the toilet. It kind of shattered all over the toilet, all over my coat, all over the bathroom. And I was like, holy fuck. Then it's coming out that end. And then all of a sudden I start puking my brains out. So I'm standing up at the sink, puking into the sink, jumping on the toilet. It was kind of like I had food poisoning really bad for like an hour. But we hadn't eaten it in several hours. And I definitely didn't have food poisoning. So, because we were all hungry and talking about what we're going to eat. And I was like, oh my God, something is very wrong. I had a fever. I had the chills. My body was in complete shock. So in the cab on the way back, I grabbed Robert, was sitting next to me, and I'm like, can you please just touch me? Because I knew he was a sensitive like Michael. And Michael reads through touch. So if he touches you, then he can feel what's happening. I don't know what he experienced because he wouldn't tell me, but he was like, holy fuck, whatever jumped inside you is evil and it's very, very bad. And I was like, oh, great. So I went back to my hotel room and he whispered it to me because we had a tour guide with us and I didn't want her to know anything that was going on. It's none of her fucking business. And Michael didn't know yet either. So, but Michael saw Robert touch me, and Michael was like, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't know, to ask Robert. And so Robert told him there's something inside her that's evil. And a hitchhiker, they kept calling it a hitchhiker from the ghost tour. And because we did some really haunted places, like murdering and the Black Plague and a lot of dark things that happened. And I definitely had a hitchhiker. So we get food and we go back to the hotel room and I'm sitting there and Michael's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel really, really exhausted, drained. And he goes, all right, come up to my room and we'll do a cleansing. The cool thing about Michael's spirit animal is, I should not be talking about Michael so much probably, but I don't think he'll care. Michael's spirit animal is a vulture. his gift is when he's massaging people, he could suck out the bad and digest it and get rid of it for you. Like, bless it and release it kind of gig. Like, literally physically with his body. He dissolves your pain and your negative energy and disposes it for you. And he did that for me. And then literally, like, within an hour, I was feeling completely normal and he was drained. So that was an early night for us. But it was like nothing happened the next day. It was like, oh, I'm totally fine. Let's, whatever. And the next day he told me the guy's name. And I can't remember what else he told me. I know he told me his name. I think he told me what he did, or I don't remember. It was kind of one of those things where, like, I don't want to think about this. The more I think about it, the more real it becomes. Long story short, I've definitely had an experience with a ghost in Edinburgh. But when I was younger, I remember seeing things move that were like ashtrays and things that had nobody in the room for. So I've really always believed in ghosts and things. Hauntings. But there's also a lot of people that fake things. So, like, for example, phone psychics. Don't believe in them, but I definitely do believe in psychics. Anyways, that was a very long Queens of the Week. Loving you, Zizi.